Good morning. Well, it may not be morning for you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Um, I haven't been awake very long, only long enough to get dressed and grab a cup of coffee. But I really wanted to get back to my art book today. I am finishing up a page that I was working on yesterday. So I'm going to show you a little bit more about this and kind of show you the process. So this is what I was working on yesterday, and I want to go in there with some Stabilo and a few other little things to kind of make it pop some. So that's what journey I am taking you on today with me. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, this page though, before we get into the actual video, this page is really special to me. And it was really meaningful for me. I was in kind of a funky little mood when I started it, and it just lifted my spirits. And I think once you see it and once you kind of see what all the words say, you'll kind of understand. And I'll kind of go a little further in detail maybe. I don't know. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the video. All right, so here we are. And here's the piece that I started working on yesterday. This was actually going to be a very different kind of piece, a different vibe to it, but she started to emerge for me and I went with it. I just kind of let her flow and chose what felt good and ended up falling in love with this. So I'm just going to kind of go around the edges here and darken her up. And she says, control what you see. And then her body is this nice little TV screen. It's another person's mouth right here through the speaker. I was interested in what they had to teach me. The question, what was I born to do? One hand's covering her eye, a rose over her mouth, caution, little traffic cone. She's holding the TV too. Yeah, so it was just, like I said, I was really kind of feeling upset about some other things when I started making this, because sometimes life just seems a little more difficult than what it really should be. But for me, I've always kind of felt like I've never truly fit in. And the things that I've always had an interest in and the people I grew up around never really worked out very well. And I was kind of always asked as a kid, like, why can't I just be like other people? Why can't I be normal? Why can't I do normal person things? And so as a kid, I loved art. I loved poetry and writing short stories, that kind of thing. And these were not things that were very well received. And I was told, like, okay, that's great, but these things aren't going to take care of you in life. And what I've learned as I've gotten older is that while they were meaning financially or, however they were looking at it, they didn't see it as like a real job. The biggest thing that I've learned is that these things take care of me on a spiritual level. They help me with my emotions. They help me make sense of my world, and they help me enjoy my life. So they do take care of me, and as long as I do them, I'm fine. But those times where I try to quote unquote fit into their standards and be normal, like I usually begin to get really stressed out and can't manage very well. And so I know another big thing is, some of you may or may not know this, I actually have a master's degree in counseling, and when it comes to my job, like jobs, things like that, I have always been told, like, you need to chase this job, you need to get this job with this kind of money and all that stuff. And money's always been that driving force behind it. But I also noticed that, like, it stresses me out after a while. Like, if I'm not in love with my job, like it stresses me out. I'll gain a lot of weight. I'll start experiencing health issues. I always say a lot. It's just really hard for me to be able to go to a job that I hate day in and day out and not physically suffer from it. And thankfully, I have a very loving, compassionate husband who has a good job and would prefer me to just do whatever it is that makes me happy and what I love to do. And right now, that's what I've been doing. I do this YouTube channel. I play with my art. And I have a part-time job at my local library, which is literally like 2 blocks from my house. And so I don't have to walk very far or drive very far. I'm close to home, and like I said, it is part-time, but I love being around all the books. I love interacting with the patrons, as little as I get to now because of COVID. But yeah, so I'm lucky in that regards. But yesterday I was just kind of in a funk because I still go through those periods where I'm like, why can't I just be like a normal person and be able to go to a full-time job that, like, I technically don't necessarily love, but it pays the bills and it pays well or whatever, and just suck it up, buttercup. But I can't. It's not me. It's not in my cards. It's not who I am. It's not how I'm going to be able to live my life. And I feel like I have been through quite a lot in my lifetime. I've had sarcoma, which is a type of cancer, and I came out on the other side of that quite well. And that's actually what led me ultimately back to my art and coming back to myself, was because I realized how much of my life at the time I was wasting trying to listen to what everybody else said was right for me. But old programming is kind of hard to get away from. So I do have my moments where I kind of get frustrated, like, this would be so much easier if I could just be that person that they wanted me to be. And I don't know. It's hard. Maybe you feel like that sometimes. Maybe you don't. I'll get over it. I'm sure I will. Eventually, I will stop beating myself up over ridiculous things, because in the grand scheme of things, it is my life, and I should be able to live it and enjoy it the way that I see fit. And I do know that, and I keep trying to remind myself of that. So, like I said, the old programming is a little hard to get away from. So now that I laid all of my trouble out on you, poor innocent people of YouTube, I'd be curious to know what your experiences are. I know everybody's got a little bit different of a story, and we all have different kind of pressures on us. And so I'd be interested to know what you're going through. What was your childhood like? When did you discover that, like, you liked art and you wanted to art, whether full-time or part-time or just something to do? Darken that one up just a little bit. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I may want to, I think I want to change these white spots to a blue, like a darker blue. I'm debating on whether or not I want to do that with paint or pen, and I think, let's try it out. I think I want to do that with paint. I may want to actually do that with my little pastel crowns. Let's see. Oh, I kind of like that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Oh, I like that a lot. I think I might just leave it right there. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, so I think I'm gonna let this dry. I gotta glue this page down. I may keep it like this and just glue the rest of these pages. I do plan to do a full walkthrough whenever I'm completely done, so I'm excited to take you through that. In the meantime, thank you for being here, and like I said, I would love to hear your experience as far as, you know, your childhood or even now, like what you feel pulled to do versus how the world or other people in your life want you to be. So I would love to hear about that. Maybe it's because I don't want to be the only one. No, I don't think I'm the only one. And it's just nice to see empowered people taking ownership of their lives and, you know, controlling what it is that, you know, they want their outcome to be, and not just listening to the whims of everyone else or what the world tells them they should be. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to let it end right there. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye. See you next time.